My inspiration comes from you, the actor. So, somebody, I notice you're wearing an eye patch. Someone might say, well, I shouldn't go on the audition because I got the eye patch, it'll keep me from getting, no. That eye patch makes you unique and more interesting than the way the character's written. Wear the eye patch. Keep the eye patch, use the eye patch. All right, so the whole idea is right at the very beginning of my career, the value of an actor's personality became extremely important to me. And maybe from that foundation, the whole idea of branding actors, writing roles for that brand, and perpetuating the brand to the benefit of your career, my film, and the entertainment value of the audience became very significant and important. Regardless of what your specific interest is, it all begins with brand. What are we selling? Now, how many of you know what a Ferrari is? Or you don't have to name it, but you get the idea. Well, to put the brand in its simplest, it's a red sexy thing. It's really famous. Okay? I think 80%, Chad, you may know. The majority of all Ferraris are ordered red. If you have a Ferrari that isn't red and you go to resell it, 9 times out of 10 you repaint it red, and it's called resale red. Yeah. They come up, you got a Ferrari? Yeah, what color is it? Blue. Oh. Now, would you care what color a John Deere tractor is? Yes. Yeah. You would. Well, it has to be green and yellow. Right? Otherwise, it's not John Deere. The brand starts visually. What do you look like when you walk through the door? Now, when you saw me walk through the door, you saw either some artistic guy or a homeless person that walked in off the street. It could be either one.
Or both.
Could be both. Now, what I'd like you all to do, I'm going to pose a question. And in your own minds, or you can write it down, answer this question as it applies to you, or finish this sentence.
Thank you.
I'm best at playing men who are, or women who are, or we'll say characters who are, what? Ruthlessly intelligent and can see right through you? It's kind of an interesting description, isn't it? As opposed to housewives. What's a housewife? What is a housewife? You get one impression of what a housewife is on a TV commercial, another on a sitcom, another on the cover of Cosmopolitan, and another still on the internet. What's a housewife? There's no such thing as a housewife. But there is such a thing as you. So finish this sentence. I'm best at playing characters who are. Now, if you're a writer, I'm best at writing material that, now as a writer, I'd say I'm best at writing material that looks into that dichotomy between right and wrong and the relationship between politics, law enforcement, and organized crime. Kind of an interesting, you want to know what some of the things you've done. Instead of I'm best at writing screenplays. What's a screenplay? Because if you've ever picked up a script, and I know you have, and read it, the character description very often is Megan, age 32, a professional woman. Tells us nothing. And when you say I'm best at playing ruthlessly intelligent women who can see through everybody she meets, now suddenly your brand is more interesting than the character in the script. And they're going to say, ooh, let's incorporate that in what we're selling. I'll tell you how important this is. When you go into a casting session, generally, what's the first thing the casting director says to you?
State your name.
State your name. What else? Tell me a little about yourself. Well, usually an actor will say, well, I grew up in, and my parents, and I came to LA, and I did was playing that play or Tortilla Flat. No.
I'm Stephen Mitchell, and I'm best at playing characters who are ruthlessly intelligent and can see right through you.
Damn.
Right now, the brand is there. And you know what? If you state it accurately enough, they're going to look at you and say, damn, that's right. That's what I'm looking at. What you just said is staring me back in the face. You say, I'm best at playing complete fuck-ups who half the time don't know what they're doing. And they go, that's you, yes.
Or imitate live.
But what you don't want to do is say something they've heard 30 times that day.
Right.
I can do anything. Well, begging your pardon, we all know that's not true. The casting director knows it's not true. The account executive knows it's not true. They can see it's not true. And you shouldn't allow someone else to author the definition of your brand. Because they might not be smart enough to know what your brand is, and you're going to get a 70th percentile articulation of your brand. Oh yeah, 20-year-old blonde. If that's all they see in you, you are not going to get the part you want. Let's go back to your point about I don't fit in that day. Let me give you a fundamental viewpoint that you should have at every cold reading or audition. And it's this. You do not want the part they are offering that day. Everybody else there wants it. They're walking up and down the hallway trying to get it just right. I want to be the best Sarah that they're going to see that day. Right? You don't want that part. You know why? The good parts are already cast. The producers cast the bankable names. Otherwise, they wouldn't have a casting session because there's no financing in place. So Brad Pitt's been cast by the producer in the good role, right? The director has already brought in his friends and the guys he likes to work with in the group in the other roles that aren't the bankable roles. So what is the casting director casting? Everything else. The under fives or the day parts, or maybe if you're lucky you get a week. So the fact is, you don't really want that part. You don't care that you don't fit in. So what do you care about? What's your agenda for every audition you go into? Here it is. You're going to use that reading as a platform to show them what a movie starring you in the lead role would look like. You're going to put your brand on display in such a way they go, God, here, wait a minute, read this. And you say, what's that? Well, it's a bigger part in another project.